Ho, ho, ho. The winter is here, and these kids deserve something way better than toys.
Yes, the kids deserve better, and you too. So this Christmas, let's add a special flavor to the traditions of selling trees, cakes and toys, because I'm about to reveal our secret tip to start a unique business this winter using complete AI and automation. Imagine being able to create personalized storybooks where your customer's kid is the main character and we can bring in their favorite superhero and favorite pets, and finally create a wonderful story about him or her. Simply check out this storybook. Sounds perfect for a Christmas gift for kids, right? And this can be your perfect business for this Christmas. And that too by sharing joy and making the little souls happy. So, are you ready to put this business into action? Hi all, I'm Jahar, founder of M-Score Automation. To make this business truly thrive, all you need is this automation, a custom form to be hosted in your website or Shopify or WooCommerce, and a reliable printing partner if you are planning to deliver physical copies. That's it, your Christmas sale is already on. So let's wait no time and get into the automation scenario. As you see here, our entire process of generating this personalized storybook consists of 4 scenarios developed in a platform known as Make. If you are new to Make, don't worry guys, you can sign up using the link in description where you can get a pro plan for free with 10,000 operations. In order to make it so easy to follow, I have divided this entire process into few steps. So in the first step, we are going to collect the entire information about the child, like his favorite superhero, favorite book, etc. in a form. So here you can see we have created a form using Monday app. So you can see this is a form having parent name, phone, email field, child details like favorite superhero, favorite color, animal, favorite book, eye color, hairstyle, everything will be reflected in our book. Yeah. So I've created using Monday form, but you can use Jot form or type form, HubSpot form, or any form that is embedded in your website. Or I would suggest to go with websites like Shopify or WooCommerce to boost your sales in this Christmas Eve. Yeah, so all these things, even your WordPress site can be connected to Make. So I have chosen Monday here to make it very simple for the demo purpose. Yeah. All the filled information in the form is sent to the scenario named step 1, and this information is sent to the OpenAI brain. In OpenAI brain, it will process to create the content for our storybook, which consists of 49 pages. Among 49 pages, the first page you can see here in the Google slide, it consists of our name, company name, say M-Score Books, with the kid's photo. Will replace this and the kid's name, and remaining 48 pages consist of 24 images and 24 content related to each image, completing a story. So the OpenAI, as I said here, it will give the content for each 24 scenes, right? And then these scenes are sent to Midjourney to generate the images. So these images are generated from Midjourney using user API. So let me go to the Google slide first. So you can see here, this is the Google slide prepared with the front cover photo, the cover page, and then you can see here 24 images are there in the template. So simply you can create this template. It's very easy. You need to provide the placeholders with curly braces. You can see within this curly braces, name is a variable provided, and for each page you can see page 1, page 2 enclosed here, and there are curly braces. So for the first page here we'll be putting the kid photo and kid name as well. Yeah, so that's about the Google slide. From this slide we'll generate the PDF. So let's come back so to the step 1, as I mentioned, and here we use the user API connecting Midjourney. So this is the user API platform, so where we are going to connect the Midjourney. So regarding the connection with Midjourney and user API, I will provide the entire guideline. That's very simple and maybe 10 minutes process, which I'll provide in the description. So that's about step 1. Again, to reiterate, the form details are passed to OpenAI and we generate the content, and image generation is kicked off. So I'll cover in detail. In step 2 scenario, where we are waiting for the images to be generated and we will be upscaling the images. So we have the image generated and we will upscale the images, and that's a request. In step 2, it's a request to upscale. In step 3, when the upscaled images are received in total, that's what, like as I mentioned, 24 images. When it's ready, we will kick off the Google slide generation in step 3, which is this scenario. So the final story. So this is a step 4, my bad. So where we have generated the final storybook, and then we'll convert to PDF. So are you ready to go in detail? Let's go to the step 1 scenario. So this is a step 1 scenario. So here let me explain you one by one. So here we have used the Monday module to collect the form information. So as I said, if you are using JotForm, you can go with JotForm module here, or if you are using WordPress, you can use the WordPress form, WP form. Yeah, so all these forms can be connected here. So that just connect it, and let me show you here how it will work. So in our form, we can have one field where we are collecting the kid photo. So let me upload the kid photo. So I have uploaded the kid photo, and let me provide the parent name, Muhammad Jahar. So let me put the number. I'm just quickly typing all this information. So then we need to put the child first name and surname. So I'm putting my child's first name, and then child's age I'm putting as like 5 years, and gender female. I'm providing this, so you can customize it, not necessary. So favorite superhero, I'm putting Wonder Woman. Child's favorite color, I'm putting pink, and animal, I'm providing cat. Hobby is like feeding pets. Favorite place, Eiffel Tower. Child's favorite book, Harry Potter. And then child's eye color, black. Long hair or short hair, so it's short hair. Hairstyle is straight. Then hair color is black. Skin tone is white. Then theme, moral lesson for your book. So the story is related. The story will be generated based on this moral lesson. So I'll be just providing be optimistic in your life. So and then want the story to rhyme. That's not necessary to fill. What's something unique to your child that they love? So say if they love flowers and butterflies. So I'm just providing what my kid loves. And then finally we can add some additional custom message card. So once we submit, as I said, it comes to this module. It will trigger this module, Monday watch event, and we are collecting more information using get item, where we are passing the item ID from the watch event module. Yeah, and then we have the image of the kid, right? So we have to pass this image of the kid in the form of a URL. Unfortunately, Monday is not providing that URL, so we have that in binary data. So we are storing that image after downloading. So you can see I'm downloading this. using its asset ID. So the entire scenario will change on this first part if you're connecting jot form, where you have the direct child photo URL, so you don't have to worry about this. So since I'm not having that, I'm providing this URL to be downloaded from Monday, and then I'm uploading to Dropbox. You can use Dropbox or Google Drive. So I'm using upload a file module and then creating a share link. So I'm creating the share link for the uploaded file, and then storing in set variable module so that we can call it further in the scenario using get variable. So you can see the set and get here under tool section. So that is what you can see here, get variable has been used. Now we have a Google Sheet prepared to get or store all these generated image URLs and the content for each pages. So I'll show you the Google Sheet. You can see the Google Sheet here. So I'll share you this entire format in the description, so don't worry about this. So we have order ID, kid name, book link, so the final book, status of the book. So we have status like book created, ready for processing, pending, and then page 1 it's image URL, page 2 image 2. So in page headers we are providing the content for each image. So we are providing that. So we, as I said, we have a lot of pages, around 24 pages and 24 images. So I'm just scrolling it towards right. And finally we have kid image. See here, there is a column for kid image and file ID. So in kid image, so you can see in step 1 scenario, when the form is filled in, we'll collect the URL, and this information will be stored later in this scenario in particular row. So we have the kid image URL. So that comes from the Dropbox, since I'm uploading using Dropbox. Now let's come back. Here you can see the Google Sheet module search rows. This is just to search whether this story is already processed to avoid the duplicate. So you can see here in search rows, they are searching by the order ID. There is the item ID in Monday. So whether it's, if it's jot form, it will be jot form ID. If it's Shopify order, we will be searching by Shopify order ID. So this is just to ensure that there are no duplicates going, and we are collecting all the information of the field details, like from the field details like hairstyle, superhero, everything, and then aggregating here. So we are aggregating, so it's simple. You can see in the history, let me open the history of one of the recent runs, so that you can see how the information is aggregated to a single test. Yeah, so let it load. Here you can see this is the final aggregated content. So as I said, we have like child first name, child surname, etc. So this is aggregated into a single test. So for that we can use test aggregator or table aggregator. So once it is aggregated, and then we have used the OpenAI module message and assistant. So here you can see, like in our one of our social media automation video, we have shown how to create assistant in OpenAI. So we just created an assistant to make story for our like we are just saying that we need to create a story for our kids personalized data. So just created an assistant in our OpenAI and create and connected here, so that we can reduce the prompt or token here, and then we have connected like provided the role as user, and you can see the message to the assistant. Generate a story based on the following details. So what are the detail? The entire detail like collected from the form, and then we are saying output your JSON in JSON format as below. Like we are giving an JSON format with page 1, 2, 3, 4 with like square bracket, where we say like insert original page 1 test. So basically we are asking the OpenAI to generate the entire page information, the content for 24 pages in this form of JSON, and then we are giving some instructions to OpenAI saying that when you are generating each pages, it should not exceed the character limit more than 650 characters, so so that our data is very concise and precise. And then we are requesting OpenAI to add double hash after each sentence to indicate a new line separator for formatting purposes. So normally the new line separator comes with dot, I mean the full stop, but here we are requesting to use double hash. So going further, you can see we are using par JSON to output the entire content from OpenAI in the form of a JSON structure. So let me show you how it comes. So initially we have one JSON from the OpenAI message and assistant. So that is this JSON. You can see page 1, page 2, page 3. You can see once upon a time in bustling New York, a little girl named Khadija lived with a straight black hair and bright black eyes. Like page 1, 2, 3. You can see 24 content is generated. And then with par JSON, as you see here, we are asking to generate another JSON with page header. See here, like a modified JSON. So page is a collection with page 1, 2, 3 as the key names. Yeah, and then you can see going further, we are aggregating this information. So you can see here, so in test aggregator, we are comparing all this content generated by OpenAI, because OpenAI has generated the story or the content output in the form of a JSON, as I shown page 1, 2, 3. So we are just combining it into a single test using the iterator. So we are iterating through the page here, as you see, and then using test aggregator and replacing the hash, right? So we have the double hash. So we are replacing it with new line, and then we get this content. See here. So a beautiful combined story has been received here, right? So then once the story is received, we are, let me come back. So we are using the OpenAI module, upload a file. So here we are uploading this entire story as a file data to OpenAI, so that we can use in further OpenAI call. So we are like in further calls of OpenAI, we can easily give this story so that they know how to generate images, or each image is part of this main story. They can clearly understand. So that is why we use an upload a file module. Finally, you can see here coming forward, we have a search rows module. So this is to understand what is the last used row in Google Sheet. So if you see here in our Google Sheet, we need to add this information as a new line. Since we get lot of orders, you know, this is a great season to do the sales, we have to build our system very robust. So when the orders comes in parallel, like add a row may not work efficiently. So what we have done, we are using search rows to get the last used row. So we get the last used row, and then we create an item in a data store. So there is a data store as well, which we have created to say that at this time, this is the order ID and this is the new row number. So say here, if our row number, latest row number is 3, for the new order, we'll say in data store, we'll store in data store the latest row number, that is say here in our case 4. So we'll provide this row number and say image count is 0, page number is 0, upscale count is 0. So this is regarding the data store. You need to create a data store as shown here. So just these things might be confusing, but it's very simple. You need to follow exactly what I'm explaining. So let me show you the data store. So if you go to the data store option, I'll just show the structure of data store, which can be easily created by seeing this video itself. So let me go to the data store. So you can see here, I'm showing the structure. So we have key, time, order ID, row number. We have image hash. So it consists of page 1, prompt, right, and hash code. Then we have image count. And then let me show you, we have thread ID, status, upscale count. Then we have upscale hash, which consists of page number and hash code. Then yeah, let me go back and show you the structure. So if I edit this, you can see this is the structure. So we have time, date, order ID. So you can just copy this entire same thing. Order ID, row number, image hash consists of an array. It is a type array with collection, page, and then pages of number, prompt with test data type, then hash code. Similarly, we have image count, then page number, upscale hash. So there is image hash and upscale hash. Upscale hash also comes in array data type with collection having page, hash code, and finally upscale count. So that's about our data store. So let's come back here. So when the new order comes, as I said, we are searching for the latest row to be added and then creating a new item in data store. This is very important, and we say this is a row number for this particular order ID. And then going here, we are using the OpenAI module, message and assistant to get a thread ID. So the entire idea is to generate an initial thread ID with the entire story of our personalized storybook. So here you can see we are using the role user with the same assistant in OpenAI, and we are saying we will provide the entire storyline for a story, page by page. After you read the full story, we will share the page number and storyline for each specific page category. So we are providing a basic prompt, how the prompt should be created. So this prompt, so as I said, we have initial page related stories right now. For each page, now we have to create, or for each content in page, we have to create an image. So the image is created in Midjourney, and Midjourney needs an appropriate prompt to generate these images. So we have to create some notes in the OpenAI saying when you are creating the image prompt, please focus on the PicArt part. You will have to make sure image should be in PicArt format. Please note that the prompt generation should be perfect, very specific, visually rich, and easy for Midjourney to interpret, avoid confusion, right? Blah blah blah, lot of things like example prompt also we are providing. See here, clarity. With clarity, we are providing Pixar style 2D image, star white, 1 year old girl, short wavy brown hair, hazel eyes, right? So in this format, and we are adding background, use vibrant colors, smooth textures, and then we are mapping the whole story that comes from the the OpenAI, right? So the whole story is also mapped here. So the entire thing is provided here so that you can see it generates a thread ID. So in the output, definitely we will have a thread ID. You can see the thread ID variable here. So this can be used to feed into the OpenAI to generate images. Now let's check out the image generation. So to generate the image, as I mentioned, so we are looping through the page generated from the OpenAI. So we have the page content. And then again, we are using an OpenAI assistant here, similar to the previous one. The difference is here we are passing the thread ID. See here, let me show you. See here, so we are passing the thread ID from this previous module. So as I said, it was just created to add a thread ID where it has the entire story. Plus, in addition to that, we are uploading the file which we have done previously here. Let me show you. So here we have uploaded a file with the entire story. We are adding that as well as an input, and then saying we'll provide the entire storyline. After you read this full story, we plan to create images for the pages. So we are giving a detailed prompt about the color palette, style, tone. You can see here clearly the prompt. And then we are giving the page information. So we are looping through each page and giving that content to generate the Midjourney prompt to create the image. So once let me show you an history data of the same. So you are clear with that. So here, let me show you one of the sample output result. See here, Pixar style 2D image, Khadija, 6-year-old girl, straight black hair. So this is the way it creates for the Midjourney prompt to generate the image. So it will output this, and we connect this to the user API module. So we have the user API module here. See here. So you can use this user API module and use the module Imagine. So with the Imagine module, you can pass the result from the OpenAI, and here we need to pass a webhook URL. So this is just a trigger to generate the image, and we need to wait for the image to be generated. So when the image is generated, it will send to a new webhook. That is a new scenario, step 2, and
we are putting a condition, post the data once when generation is complete. So that is the idea here. So the output of imagine module is hash code. We get an hash code which we store in data store. So we created a new item in the beginning in data store. So to the same key we are passing the image page number, that is a bundle order position from iterator, and the image hash code, so unique hash of the task. See here from the imagine module, and then the prompt result. There is prompt means the mid journey prompt, right? Generated from the OpenAI is passed here. And then we are closing this with an array aggregator, which you can see under the flow control. And then we update the data store. You can see I'm opening the data store. So here in the same item, the key which we generated, there we need to update the thread ID. So we are passing the thread ID from this module, the 279th module, OpenAI, and say the status is pending. So it is in process. So we put in pending. And then in Google Sheet as well, we update couple of information like order ID, kid name, and then the page content. So the content is already generated. So we are passing here. So you can see page 1, page 2 are filled in with the functions. And then here also in the below part, we are adding the kid image. So if you remember, the kid image is stored in the Dropbox, which I explained at the beginning. That URL is input here. And finally, this step 1 is completed. Now we need to wait for the mid-journey user API to give the response back once the images are generated. So let's go to the step 2. Yeah, so let me open step 2. So this is step 2. You can see watch for mid-journey image creation. So this is a cool automation where, as I mentioned in the previous module in user API, we are providing the webhook URL, right? So this webhook URL is generated using the custom webhook module. So this module will give the URL, and that URL is registered there, and we are waiting for the image. So you can see here, we are putting a filter for the status to verify it's done perfectly. So once it is done, then we are using the search records module of data store, where it will list all the order details, including the image hash. So in these image hashes, we are checking whether our image output received from the webhook, that is a complete generated image, whether that hash matches or not. So while checking this, we know, okay, this is a correct order ID from the data store. So we'll match it by hash in the filter, and then go for the next part, that is upscaling. So let me go to the history of this. Let me show you the history of this scenario to show you the relevance of upscale. So here I'll show you one of the example of the image generated under the results section. You can see the image is shown here with 4 images. So we are going to choose from them randomly and upscale it. So let's come back to the scenario. So here in the upscale module, you can see out of these 4 images, we are using random variable and seed function to choose randomly and providing the hash of the task. So we already have the hash of the image that we need to pass here to upscale. That comes from the webhook. And then we are giving another webhook URL. Guess why? Because once the upscaling is done, we are going to trigger the third scenario, the third step. So we are going to upscale it, and then here in the data store module, we update the record passing the key, and here we have an upscale hash. So this I have shown in the initial data source structure, where we have image hash, and in our case, image hash was filled completed. Now we are doing the upscale hash. So I'm passing the page number. So page 1, 2, 3, and similarly the hash code. So the exact page number should be passed here. That is found using the map function, which we have already covered in our initial videos. So we are using map function to pass the page number and the unique hash, the new hash of the upscale request. Yeah. So that is sent. So here you can see another work is also done in the below part of the scenario. This is not necessary, but we have done it to make it more and more stable. So sometimes, like the image generation fails, it is not proper, it is not done. So we go and use the same OpenAI request to create again the prompt, because the Midjourney prompt is very sensitive. If it is not proper, we have to ask OpenAI saying that, hey, please generate it again. So that part covers under the below root. It's same as what we do in step 1. So you can see here. It says that we previously passed a prompt to Midjourney to generate an image, but it did not work well, right? And then we are provided the previous prompt and we are provided the whole story. So that will be regenerated again. Then we will kick off the imagine module again. See, imagine module is again kicked off to generate the image. So it's the same process which we did in the last part of step 1. So to wind up step 2, we have kicked off the upscaling, and once upscaling is ready, it will go to the webbook shown here as I mentioned. So let's go to that scenario. That is a step 3. See here, watch for Midjourney image upscale step 3. That's the scenario name we have given. Once it's ready, it will process, and we are checking whether the status is done, and we list all the records from this our data store. You can see here. So we just list it, and then again now we have the upscaled hash. So we have all the records. Maybe we have 10 book requests. Currently we get a lot of requests, so we get the hash code, we check the hash code whether this is available in a particular order ID or not. In any of this order ID or not. If it is found, we know, oh, this is the exact order. Let's proceed, and then we update the record. You can see we are updating the data store with the upscale count. So the idea is we need 24 upscaled images. So we keep incrementing this until we get 24, and also these images are stored in the Google Sheet. See here, let me load the Google Sheet. So these images keep storing in the correct column in Google Sheets. So let's come back. So here you can see in the update a row module. So you can see we are matching the hash. So you know, in the data store we are putting the hash, similarly the page number. So with the page number matching, we are checking whether it goes to the page number 1, then put the image URL in particular column image 1 or image 2. So this sequencing using get and map function or map and first function is very important. So by using this function, we identify the hash corresponds to page 1 or page 2 or any of these pages and put in the correct column in Google Sheet. Once this is in process, in the same scenario, we will check if all the images are ready in Google Sheets. So you can see this filter, image 1 exists, 2, 3, and up to 24, right? If it exists, then go for the book creation. So we just update a row in the Google Sheet with all the images you can see, and then we go to the data store to update a record. You can see will update us the status completed, and then request using HTTP module, make a request. We just trigger the final scenario. So we are just triggering it, not passing any information. So let's go to the final scenario. Yeah. So let me open that. This is the final scenario in the entire automation. You can see the scenario is named as create the final storybook. The HTTP request in the previous step 3, will trigger this webbook module, custom webbook, and there is no data incoming, just it will trigger it. And in Google Sheet, we are searching for the status ready for processing. So we have updated the status of Google Sheet as ready for processing and in data store as completed. So once it is ready for processing, it will trigger this, and we have the parse JSON module. We are creating a JSON structure with all the image URLs. You can see the structure, how it looks. Yeah. So once it is ready, we have the Google slide that I shown you in the beginning. So let me open the Google slide module, create a presentation from template. So you can just click Google slide and see here the Google slide module. Here you can provide the title from the Google Sheet, and then we have to map all these like pages, right? So we have page 1, page 2, page 3. So let's come back to the Google slide. So for each image, there is a content, page 1, page 2, right? So here, we are passing this content from the Google Sheet. So in Google Sheet, across these headers, page 1, page 2, we have the stories. So we are passing this to the Google slide. So that's the first part. And then we get the presentation. So we are getting the presentation details further. And then we pass to the iterator. So the idea is now we are looking forward to create the images. So we need to create the images. So for adding the images, we have a module, upload an image to a presentation. So it has an array structure in this format. See object ID, where the image should be placed and the image URL. That structure we are bringing here in array aggregator. So basically, we are getting or we are looping through all the slides in the iterator using the iterator, and we have to skip the first slide. Remember, the first slide is this one, so we don't have to replace any image here except the kid photo. So we are not touching it for now. We are looping from slide 2. So for that, you can see here we are slicing the array of slides which we received using get presentation. So just slice it and loop through it. So slicing from 1, so you can see the slice function, it returns a new array containing only selected items. So we are starting from 1 to the remaining. So we'll get from the slide, so skipping the first slide, we'll get the remaining slides, and then we put a filter with mode 2. So the mode 2 functions will give you the slides corresponding to the images. So what it will give? It will give second slide, fourth slide, sixth slide, eighth slide. It will skip the remaining out using this mode 2 filtering. Yeah, so that is why we have used the mode 2 filtering. Now here in array aggregator, we are passing the object ID. So that comes from the slide object ID. So you can see under the page elements, you can see the object ID. Let me open. So object ID is there, then sender. And here we have to pass the image URL from this parse JSON module. Yeah. So once that is passed, finally, we will upload this image to the presentation that we generated in the initial module. See here, create a presentation. So there we added only the content, but here we are adding the image, the images, and then one more module, upload an image, is used here. So this module looks forward to add the kid image to the first slide. So we have the first slide. You can see, let me open. So here we need to replace the kid image. So that's the objective of this additional upload an image module. Finally, we are using the update a row module where we pass the Google slide links. Once you have the Google slide, you can simply verify the content and then go to file, share, download, and you can select the PDF document to convert it to PDF. You can do the same using the automation. Again, I just avoided one step to verify the content. So it's very simple. We can automate a lot of steps here further, where we can use Google Drive, download let me open Google Drive, download a file. So we have an option, download a file, where we can pass this Google slide with advanced settings, wherein we pass in, you can see convert Google slide to PDF. So you can use this method to download it as PDF and then upload again back to a specified folder to make the book ready. And you can even deliver it as by email so that your client or customer can get an ebook. Now let's go to an actual demo. Let's start filling the form. This is a form which we have already discussed in the beginning of our video. So we have already filled it during our explanation. So now let's go and submit this, right? So before that, let me turn on all the workflows. Yeah. So let me load and turn on all the workflows. Let me turn it on. I'm so excited. Let me submit it now. So I have submitted. Let's go to the scenario 1. Let me discard the changes. So it's running, guys. So let me tell you, this entire process will take around 10 to 15 minutes to generate 24 images, content, etc. Because we have to request to user API, where it send request to mid journey, we have to await. So let's wait for 10-15 minutes to get the result. Yeah, hold on. Yes, I see our book is generated now. So with all the page details, I mean the content for each pages and the images are here. You can see the images are populated. So we can see very good images are generated. Of course, we can improve the quality again by adjusting the prompt, and it's all about prompt engineering. And we have the final book link here. So that is a Google slide link. See here. So I provided, just uploaded a rough video of my daughter. You can see we can give a beautiful image so that the book cover page will look awesome. And then you can see the name and see this book, right? So let me convert this to PDF to show the difference. Yeah, let me generate the PDF. So the good part here is, since Google Slide is there, you can make the edits, everything changes, or have a review with your VA or some QC team and then finally generate the PDF. So let me show you. See here, you can see the book. Story in a land where dreams started each new dawn. There lived a young hero, and see this. See the book, right? See the images. So each image corresponds to each content, right? So you can see here. So mostly there are like, since we said the child is interested to play with pets, you can see similar ones, right? And then we talked about cat, you can see image with cat. See here. And we talked about Eiffel Tower, so we can see the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, so finally, if you see here, we have a end story, and as she gazed at the picture of Eiffel Tower by night, her dreams shone brighter with her spirit's light. The world is vast and full to the brim with stories, love, and a hope that sings, right? So with a moral story, as we said, I mentioned to be optimistic and blah, 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 right? So accordingly, we can get a customized book, and this sounds better when you contact a vendor for printing, and the book is with a great cover page and in an open form, right? When you open it with 2 pages, this will be a further shock to the kid, and they will be more excited this Christmas.
And there you have it, a perfect business idea for you. Not only for Christmas, this automated product can be used anywhere, anytime to create stories for your loved ones. And let's make this Christmas unforgettable. Let's make it happen with M Square. Share your feedback in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe our channel for more insights into AI and automation.